everyone, it's Paige and welcome back to my YouTube channel. We are in Club Champion right now. You guys love Club Champion. I love Club Champion. You know I'm a huge advocate for getting fit. And one thing that I have never actually talked about, and I get a ton of questions about it, is grips. Grip size, what grip is good for you? I love my Grip Master grips, and we'll go into that later on this video, but I feel like this is very important because most people don't even think about it. And if you have a grip that is too big or too small, it's not gonna work for you. It's like Goldilocks. You need to find just the right fit for you. And so we're gonna do an entire video on grips. Let's go. Truth is, I don't actually know a lot about the equipment. I rely on the master club fitters here because they are top notch. So tell me about grips.
So basically the first thing with a grip is you got to get the right size. If it doesn't fit in your hand properly, you're going to move the club as you're swinging it in the wrong direction. If it's too big, you could leave the face too open. If it's too small, you could leave the face too closed. And so we want to make sure we get the right size. The next part is getting the right texture. I know you love your Grip Master grips. They get very tacky. We want to make sure that you have the right texture for if your hands sweat a lot, if your hands get blistered easily. We want to make sure that it's comfortable in your hand and getting the right comfort in the grip. So it's what connects you to the club. So it's very important to get that right.
Okay, so let's do a couple scenarios as if I was just someone coming in to Club Champion and I practice a lot. My hands are a bit sweaty.
Yeah.
I like cord, but sometimes beats my hands up. What would you recommend as a good grip for me?
Sure. So the first thing is trying to figure out, if you've played cord in the past and it's beat up your hands, do we do better with just pure tacky grips? Do we want a hybrid type of grip in there? Or do we go something leather like the Grip Masters to make sure that it gets tackier as your hands get wet,
yeah.
Right? So, the first thing I want to do always is kind of put a couple in your hand just so you can feel what they feel like, right? Leather grips versus maybe something, again, that you've tried before that are more corded, to even maybe more of a hybrid grip. We've got these pure grips here too, that have a little bit more texture to them as well. So there's a lot of different ways to get you a different texture that works for if your hands are sweaty. That's more going to be personal preference.
Yeah.
Then we've got to get the size right on top of that.
Yeah, I mean, I have very, very clammy, sweaty hands. It's quite gross. And that's why I love the Grip Master grips.
Sure.
But I do actually really like something with a little bit of texture.
Yeah.
But one thing I found really interesting about the Grip Master is that they are very tacky, and with a little bit more moisture, they actually get even tackier, which I really liked. When I grab the corded grip, it feels good, but I feel like they wear down really quick on me.
For sure.
So is there different wear times on different grips?
Yes, so first of all, the big thing is you should always be cleaning your grips. And at about the 50 round mark, you're probably gonna see a drop off no matter what grip you play. That being said, corded grips, because of the cord, they can start to firm up a little bit and get a little slick when they get used over a certain period of time. The leather grips are known for being more durable until essentially the leather starts falling apart. They're going to stay tacky when your hands get wet as long as you're keeping them clean. Any grip that's a little softer will probably give way a little faster than some of the firmer stuff, but it also depends on your grip pressure. Some people can make grips last for 100+ rounds. Most of the time though, I say at the 50 round mark, you should consider getting your grips changed just so you have that fresh tackiness to connect it to the club.
So next scenario is, I don't practice maybe all that often. I have very delicate hands.
Sure.
What is the next grip that I should try?
So I would say again, right, when you're looking at trying to find a grip that is appropriate for you, you could go to something that is a little bit softer or a little bit tackier. You look at something like the CP2 grips are kind of known for having that extra squish if your grip pressure is not too tight. Some people also love the Tour Wrap grips here that have that extra layer of tack from Golf Pride. Very durable, hold up a long time, not too soft, so you can be kind of comfortable with giving it a little extra squeeze, but have the tack needed to hold on long term and as well as last a while. As well as you still have the old faithful, right? You got Golf Pride Tour Velvets, right? And a lot of companies make these. You got the Lambkin Cross lines. Pure has their version. Ionic has their version. Essentially, right, it's an old classic. It tapers down traditionally for you. And it has that kind of smooth rubber feel that people are used to, or velvet feel as in the name there.
How do I know what size grip is great for me?
Yeah, so a good test initially is if you're kind of holding on to the club there. If your two fingers, your middle finger and your ring finger, are just touching your palm there as it's in the left hand of your grip, that's pretty much perfect for you right there.
Okay.
If your fingers have a gap there, you've probably gone a little too big. And if you're pushing in a little bit too tight, you've probably gone a little bit too small in the grip. But I'd also look at your general ball flight. If you work the ball a little bit more left to right, you might want to err towards a little smaller grip. And if you move the ball a little right to left or tend to miss it too much left, you might tend to go towards a little bigger grip. So the next thing on grips is you don't just have standard size and mid-size and jumbo, or ladies, like some people think are undersized. Grips can also be kind of traditional taper versus a less tapered grip. You know, in more recent years, we've seen pros go to grips that are thicker on the bottom hand to help get the right hand a little bit more in control of the golf club. It's not a definite for everyone. Again, when we talked about
Personal
ball flight
preference.
earlier, you know, that right to left miss, a lot of times that player gets a little too active with the right hand, and it could be a good direction to go. Your grip master grips, for instance, tend to be a little thicker on the bottom hand than, let's say, like a traditional Golf Pride Tour Velvet would be on the bottom hand. So again, very player dependent, very much ball flight dependent, but we want to make sure to get your sides into the right one so you can have the best ball flight for when you play.
Well, I feel pretty good with these grips. Let's go talk about some putter grips. So I have played skinny grips, fat grips, and I don't really know what, I mean, obviously the difference is the size, but
Sure.
how does it affect your putting stroke?
Yeah, so a lot of times when we look at a putter grip, we talk about what type of player you are, right?
Okay.
If you're maybe a little bit more feel versus more robotic, you might prefer a smaller grip versus a bigger grip. Some of it's also just the consistency in your hands, right? So some players tend to lift more on their putting stroke unintentionally, and a bigger grip can help keep the hands a little more still. And so when we were trying to find what the right grip is for a putter, we're trying to identify what you're doing in the stroke and what size would be appropriate for you. Again, still very much a comfort thing at the end of the day, but we want to make sure that you're getting the necessary size needed for what your putting stroke demands.
So I tend to come a little out and cut across it.
Sure.
What grip would help with that?
Yeah, so you probably don't want to go too big then,
Yeah.
because you might have a tendency to not release the putter face. Again, still player dependent, but you might want to look at something that is a little bit smaller. That being said, if you find yourself getting a little bit too handsy, you can also find yourself flipping up and adding loft, or sometimes not adding enough loft and being inconsistent on how you deliver the putter. So we want to kind of look at what's happening, but definitely if you tend to leave things out right, you might want to stay a little bit on the smaller side. But there's so many different options we can go to that a smaller grip could mean 10 different things.
What does a larger grip help with?
Yeah, so again, right, for that player who maybe uses their hands too much and tends to add loft in their putting stroke, a bigger grip can help quiet the hands a little bit more. They stay a little bit more still, so that way they're delivering the loft of the putter more consistently, as well as the rotation of the putter more consistently.
And one of the many perks of coming to Club Champion is they do loft and line changes for free. And also when it comes to regripping your clubs, if you have purchased clubs with Club Champion 4, you just have to pay for the price of the grip and you guys will do it.
Correct. You get the free labor if you've made a purchase with us in the past year as part of our member rewards program.
So it's definitely worth it. So come over to Club Champion. As you can see, the smallest of details make a massive difference when it comes to your clubs. Most people just think, I need a new club head or I need a new shaft, but having the right grip can help you hit better shots and will also keep your hands a little bit more protected. I know if you practice a lot, you get a ton of blisters, so having really great grips will really help you and improve your game. You guys already know, I'm gonna link it down below. You can use my code Paige for a discount. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next Thursday.